It's about 6:30 in the morning and I am heading out to go sub for the day. I'm really regretting going in today. I literally begged the sub caller that's known me for the last 4 years for work today. A cake that had arrived and they were like, "Who's Jewish that brought this cake?" "Oh, I didn't know there was a Jewish teacher of that grade that brought a cake." "Oh, that teacher brought the cake. Oh, that makes sense. She's Jewish." It's like, there's been other comments that have been much more clear on their staff's opinions of people of certain religions. Feels sickening. It feels like some toxic relationship. You know you're interacting when you shouldn't be, and then once you interact, you feel like this like pit in your stomach, and you're like, why did I just reach out to this person? I essentially begged the sub caller last evening at 9 o'clock at night for work today because they were not calling me. They haven't been scheduling me. I have worked for Miami Dade County Public Schools, worked at the exact same school since 2019. 2019 I actually got approved by them, and then I started working, I want to say like the first week or so into the new year, because I was actually at a private school, even though I was approved in 2019. But I've been working at the same school, and the way Dade County schools worked was because they try to avoid giving subs insurance, you were only allowed to work 8 days per 10-day work availability. So we were told, come in every day. In other words, you're not even being scheduled ahead of time. Just come in every day to the school, and then the sub caller will tell you the 2 required days that you have to take off per pay cycle. In other words, you could work 5 days, Monday through Friday, and then the next week you have to take off 2 days. You get the point. So it went from, in quote, come in every day and then just take off your 2 required days, to now begging for work. Is every sub doing this? No. It pretty much seems like it's only me. It's my dad. We're just getting ready to go out now to get to work. And from what I know, most of the other subs are being scheduled ahead of time and being given lots of work. It would appear that it is just me. There's, I'll give you an example. There's a sub that's been given a class that a teacher's going to be out Monday through Friday next week. They've been scheduled ahead of time. They're just not calling me anymore. There's a lot of reasons why I believe this is happening. There's been appearance-based comments. There's been religious-based comments. There's a staff member that refers to the subs as "its." There's just a lot of reasons why I really believe that this is happening. It would seem that lately I am very rarely being given any class that's a normal class. So for example, today, once again, I'm doing paraprofessional work, which is actually at a lower pay rate. And I believe it is. And not being given normal classes. In other words, come in, take their attendance, give them their work, take them to lunch. I'm being given only ESE classes and para work because, I'm an empath and everything, and I'll do it. But unfortunately, the other teachers subs and stuff won't do it. I regret. It's like this sickening feeling that I know that I begged the sub caller to allow me to work today, begged, when I know that every other sub is working and scheduled ahead of time and treated normal to well, and I'm the only one that's being treated this way. And it's not like, oh, why is this happening to me? In reality, I do know why. There's a few reasons why. I just got out of work and the dada is here. Say hello to the people. Hello. Your hair is looking like a peacock. And got out of subbing and so I'm not 100% sure if what's called Kelly Education or Kelly Services has this requirement that I have to sub at least 4 days a month, and then like a Monday or a Monday Friday. Otherwise you'll be deactivated. I'm not 100% sure. I'm seeing some mixed information on that. So I ended up getting called today, and then I'm scheduled for like one other day this month, as pathetic as that is, that will just meet the requirements. Early in the morning, there was a man that showed up to the school. He's never been to the school before. So the sub caller will call everyone and everyone off the street, literally off the street, because all you have to have is a GED or a high school diploma, and you can be a sub. And so anyone and everyone off the street but me. So, and then when I got into the school, I realized I'm an older sub, and they were in the office and they were like, oh yeah, give her that class. So no one is registered ahead of time. Everyone else is being told just come in, this, that, scheduled ahead of time, and I don't get scheduled. There's a variety of reasons why I think this is happening. I've started to hint at it in other of my videos, but I mean, I'm hearing anti-Semitic comments a lot, and not on part of the students. And today again, I heard anti-Semitic comments, and it was one of the first things I heard in the morning. And there was like a cake that had arrived, and they were like, who's Jewish that brought this cake? Oh, I didn't know there was a Jewish teacher of that grade that brought a cake. Oh, that teacher brought the cake. Oh, that makes sense. She's Jewish. It's like, there's been other comments that have been much more clear on their staff's opinions of people of certain religions. I don't know that I want to get that that detailed in this video, but what I'm trying to say is that you could say it's a youth issue, you could say it's an appearance issue, you could say that anti-Semitism is playing a part in this. I know that a lot of the staff, there's a staff member that refers to the subs as its. You know, I really do not expect to get called very much, if at all, for the subbing. And a subbing job where you rely on your income, where one of the jobs now could be 4 days a month, that's not acceptable. Okay, that's not consistent employment. For that, you're better off going anywhere else.
You asked her this morning or today about does she have work for you tomorrow?
I asked the sub caller this morning, do you have any work for me tomorrow? And again, as a follow-up, I only worked today because I begged her. I begged her to come in. And the sub caller's response was, oh, you know how it is. I have to wait last minute to see if the person calls out. It's like you have scheduled everyone else ahead of time, weeks ahead of time, because the teachers at the school always call out. And it's like, I know that because I talk to everyone. I'm not like my head in the sand. Like, I know everything that's happening. So, you know, it is a situation. You know, I've got other things going for me. Let's start on the things I'm grateful for. My health, my dad. I have another job. No, it's not enough, but along with other elements, you know, the channel, different things. If I have to apply for another job, we'll do that if I have to in the future. But I have other things going for me. And again, as a repeat, they were like, nothing's going to change with Miami Dade Schools when we switched to Kelly Education. Well, a huge element also occurred that they have lowered the qualifications to virtually nothing. When I was with Dade Schools, they lowered it, I think, to 30 credits or 60 credits. You had to go to a 2-week curriculum course, 2 days at Miami Dade College, and they made it pretty difficult to become a sub. And at least there was some credentialing element to it. Now it's anyone off the street. You could have a GED. I've had people in my comment section, they're going like, what is wrong with someone having a GED and teaching? I mean, in itself, I hope you're aware that you do need a bachelor's degree and different exams to qualify. And as a recap for someone who's just coming across this, it's like I've had experiences with subbing. When I went through cancer screenings, thank God I'm okay. They made fun of me at the school. I've had people make fun of my scoliosis at the school. There's been a lot. There's been a lot that obviously are things that we can't justify and be like, oh, you're just jealous or something like that. It's like, but if anyone and anyone off the street now can essentially be in a room teaching your next level of generation, I can't compete with that, because that means that anyone and anyone off the street is capable of, in the event that it gets scheduled online and someone grabs it, I can't compete with that, because there's a lot of anyone and anyone off the street to compete with. And before, at least people had to have some type of credentials to them. And quite frankly, when they lowered it originally from a bachelor's degree to an AA, that was a big enough thing. It's like, and then it should have stayed at an AA. People should have some sort of level of credentialing in order to have the ability to teach. It's not just babysitting, as a lot of people are saying. If you're a proper sub, then you're actually going through the curriculum. And I've had people in the comments be like, oh, but I've worked my way up and I started at a GED. That is great, and that is great that you are going to work your way up, and you're going to get to a point where you can go through the education system and don't quit, and get your AA, and then if you have to do it in a stepping stone, and get your bachelor's, and if you want to become a teacher, take the exams. But there should be a standard that says you need to have an education to be teaching in any capacity of education. That would be like someone saying, I worked my way up and I've worked really hard and I have my GED. Why can't I be an anesthesiologist? Well, because you're not qualified for it. It's just like a common sense. It's like trying to equate A to B, and it's like you're not really making that connection. Like, oh, I have a GED. Why is this not enough? Why aren't you proud of me? I worked my way up. You're kind of gaslighting the situation. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with that there should be a set of standard of education requirements for the position. Good for you that you're working on things, but there should be a standard set credentialing, because it's important that if you are teaching curriculum in a class, that you have some ability to do so. I'm picking up some groceries now, and I don't really anticipate that I'm going in tomorrow, because as of now she has not scheduled me.
And you asked her.
I asked her this morning, once again, begging her.
And she's doing a mumbo jumbo.
I do know, some people would say maybe it's just, I definitely notice a pickup in how they're not scheduling me ever since, there's been tension in the world and anti-Semitism has increased in the world. And there is a correlation in timing with not only that they're not calling me, to also the fact that these comments that I'm overhearing at the school. What else are we getting? I don't know. So we're
some
just
cookies.
Finishing up our shopping. Gonna grab some cookies. I don't really expect to be going in tomorrow, but yeah. So we are headed home with our groceries, and it's a situation where I'm just not getting called anymore. And even today's job of employment, I had to actually beg the sub-caller to go in. They should, to talk with tolerance and not to say things like that. Thumbs up to the people who go into ESE environments as their sole profession, but I'm not trained for that, and it's the only job that it would appear now that this environment will give me. I'm not given any normal classes. I think I'm scheduled for somewhat of a normal class in the next day or so, but again, I think it has some sort of ESE undertone to it, and it's rough. And again, in the morning, I'm trying to ask the schedule of the students and understand, and the supervising faculty, they get very hostile when you ask questions. And today I was like, I need to ask these questions. I actually said this. I'm like, I need to ask these questions because I don't understand the schedule. And I basically said, the last time you were in error when you told me your lunch was this time, it was not this time, because no one wants to discuss with me the student's schedule. Again, I can't help but notice some of the correlation that you've had a few things happen. One, the Kelly education transfer allowed for anyone off the street to essentially be in the room as a sub, which made it competitive where what's interesting though is the subs that are showing up in quote off the street, they don't last. That was what's interesting. I saw 2 or 3 in the last couple days that were new people that showed up, and none of those actually reappeared. They're all gone. Then you had another person come today who's never been to the school before, and they are happy with having just like an open door where they don't know who this sub is that showed up. They're vetted and everything, like they're an employee. It's not like they're like a stranger, but it's like they're a stranger to the school. No one knows who they are. No one's familiar with them. If you value an employee, if you value someone being there, you don't call them an it. You don't treat them that way. I mean, that's been clear.
I'll call them a Kelly girl.
Call them a Kelly girl. Make fun of them. Make fun of their appearance. Make fun of their body.
Make fun of
their religion. That obviously doesn't sound like a very tolerant environment. So we are now headed home, and we're gonna go eat. But as of now, making this video, it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon now. I am not scheduled. So.
And you asked her, could I come in?
Yeah. And the answer was, oh, you know how it is. They have to wait till last minute to see if someone takes off. It's like, but every other sub who's been told to just come in, or you scheduled ahead of time, or the people off the street, everyone else has a job but me. So it's 6 o'clock at night. I'm taking a walk here, near my house. It's cold and chilly out. So when I got home, I saw that I had been scheduled for a upcoming substitute teaching job that's a week away, and then I saw like 40 minutes later I was removed from the job. So it is, ignore the mess in the car, that's how I like it. It is Tuesday, and I got called into work today to work again with the student that is a disabled student, and the student is very, very, very sweet, but you have a situation at the school where, quite frankly, I think the majority of subs are very vocal about not wanting to have it where they've been given a role that they're not trained for properly, and they want a regular class, do the attendance, that's it, sit there. And the student is very, very sweet, but it takes a lot out of you. You're completely pretty much isolated with them most of the day, except for like one class that they go to, and you're like in silence the entire day, and it's rough. And obviously it's rougher for them, but and I don't negate that, but I'm not trained for this position. It's not ideal, and it's the only work that this subcaller will give me. I'm not given any other work. That's normal. Normal integrated class, not an ESE environment. Those go off to people off the street, and the other thing is a subcaller can't give this position to people off the street that have never seen the school before and stuff like that, because you don't know who this person is, and you're entrusting the care of a disabled student throughout the day to a stranger off the street. That's not wise.
What you just told me.
Yeah, that we just did some grocery shopping after me getting out of work subbing, and I did work again with this very sweet student who is disabled. There was other stuff going on today. Again, I overheard like anti-Semitism not among the students. So that's a separate video where I could get more into detail of what's going on with that. But in itself, of a sub having availability of work at the school, what has happened is you had about 7, 8 very, very loyal subs that were working this school every day. All of them were, for the most part, most of them actually had bachelor's degrees, may have retired from other professions. Today was a day where I'm sitting in the office and I'm waiting to pick up my student for the day, and I witnessed I saw 2 of them, and I knew there was a third come in, people who have never seen the school before. The majority of loyal subs, the 7, 8 people, I noticed that other than myself and one other person, none of them were called in to work today. In other words, the teachers must be posting the jobs online, and someone in their house who's never been to the school before is scooping up the job, and your loyal subs that have worked here at the school for the last 3-4 years, some longer. I think one of them has been at the school for 7 years, who know every kid's name. We're out of job today. Then on top of it, there is like other issues going on, like anti-Semitism, where if there's a role that you could get scheduled for ahead of time, you're not getting scheduled it, or I'm not getting scheduled it, because there have also been comments directed at me, and that's another video in itself I can make. There were some comments that were made to me last year by upper faculty that were inappropriate regarding religion. There was a sub that, if this person's being treated better than me, one of the loyal subs, that's a situation where even with them, they're probably down from the 16 plus days to, maybe 6 or 7 days. And they're all going to have to quit and seek out something else, because you can't have any type of reliability on that type of income. People have bills to pay. The majority of their subs at this school now is going to make a transition to people who have never seen the school before. And it's not going to be consistent, like, oh, well, someone who walks in off the street is now going to become their new loyal sub. No, not at all. In the last day or so that I did sub, and the only reason I sub was because they had to have someone they knew who they were to work with this disabled student. They didn't feel confident in having someone off the street work with a disabled student, and they don't know the school. So that was the only reason they had me work with this student, and I haven't been given anything else. So the thing was, it's been just like an open door. So like I've seen 4 or 5 subs off the street, as I would call them, come into this school for the first time, and none of them have returned. So each day it's going to be 3-4 new people off the street who have never seen the school before, don't know any of the students. The school doesn't know who they are, and all the loyal subs will be pushed out. So yeah, kind of just digesting it, posting these videos, documenting everything on my channel helps me digest it as well. And I'm gonna go upstairs now and eat, and later groom and everything, because I haven't been taking care of myself again. And yeah, but thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I will see you soon in my next video. I have Patreon and channel memberships, and I will see you soon in my next video, and bye.